mozzarella and anchovy. I like pizza with salami, eggs and cheese and oregano. I like pizza with tomato. I like pizza. I like pizza, pepperoni, mozzarella and anchovy. I like pizza with salami, eggs and cheese and oregano. I like pizza with tomato. I like pizza. We like pizza. We like pizza in the morning. We like pizza every day. We like pizza in the evening. We like pizza anyway. I like pizza pepperoni.
Hello. I've returned from faraway lands after a week of being unplugged, disconnected, cool, calm, relaxed, eating exquisite food, and gaining 0.7 kilograms in the process. So my diet is officially thrown off track, but that's expected. You plan for that when you start eating ravenously. I was gone last week, for those of you not keeping track, those of you listening in the far off future where you don't these I'm already no longer with us. I was killed in the Civil War. So I'm no longer amongst the living. I can't keep track of time anymore. But you're still listening to this for whatever fucking reason. So hello, everybody. Thankfully, the last 2 weeks have been relatively uneventful. I don't have much to catch up on, and I was really afraid because the very first day, apparently, that I left, something really big happened. I thought, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to go through like all this shit. I'm gonna have to go through it all on Friday. It's gonna take like 8 hours to process the entire happenings of that week. But no, after the Butte stuff came out, nothing else actually happened. So we're in good luck. This is somehow another filler episode where I just ramble on about a couple things that interest me, and everyone else can go fuck themselves, I guess. Chantal, I have Chantal on the list. Don't you worry, friends. Actually, oh fuck, I took pictures of my birds, and I did not put them in the in my Firefox, so I can't show you. Give me 1 second. I did not prepare for the stream adequately. I was watching stupid YouTube videos and relaxing. I mildly carrying my computer, well, not my computer bag, but my big bag. I have this Everski laptop bag that I bought literally years ago. I think when I first went to Australia. I bought this Everski laptop bag because it was the only thing that could conceivably carry my giant-ass Asus Republic of Gamers laptop, which was massive. And I've carried it to every single country and every place I've ever been to, and it's really big. And I must have carried it wrong, or I didn't adjust it correctly, so I have like a lower back sprain. So I've just been relaxing, feeling like a schlub. But here are my birds. Let me show you this. The pickles are still in the fridge. I was going to eat a Subway sandwich this week, but decided against it. So instead, I offer you birds. There we go. Kind of a low-res picture. They're very, very afraid of me. So if I walk out there on the balcony, they will literally cower in fear because I am like this giant monster, this looming threat that sits and gawks at them like a hungry bear. And of course they can't fly yet, so they're terrified. But as you can see, they're pretty much all grown up, and I see them flying onto the balcony. So they're flying to different elevations on the balcony, but they're not quite ready to fly yet. But it's kind of weird. They have like this weird Donald Trump hair. That's the only thing that's left from their fuzzy yellow days. It's a little comb over that they got on top. Eggstein, the small one, is so small though. He's the slenderest pigeon I've ever seen. So I'm really anxious that he'll learn to fly soon and start feeding himself, because Chantal is much bigger than him. And he's I mean, pigeons are usually big, round, and fat, and he's pretty slender. You can see him kind of head on. He's not not the appropriate dimensions that a pigeon should be. So I hope they. I don't want to. I mean, we got to move on at some point. They got to fly away. But don't be sad when my pigeons are gone. I'm gonna be singing songs about how they took my pigeons away, or my pigeon's gone. So yeah, that's that. Thankfully they didn't fly away while I wasn't here, so I get to enjoy the final week before they can take off. Okay, so that's the pigeon update. I don't want to talk too much about my trip because I enjoyed it. It was a thing for me, and I don't want to try and if I start talking about like all like the fun shit, like it's gonna sound like I'm being braggadocious, and that comes into play with Ralph. And I was really hoping that Ralph would not be a topic when I came back, because I've been desperate for a fucking week where Ralph isn't doing something retarded. But alas, I really thought that what would happen is he would go on this stupid fucking thing with Dick. You know what? I'll say that for a bit. I want to get the boo stuff out first. So, if you don't remember, a guy named Bu, who was an emulator developer, killed himself, allegedly. He sent me a letter basically saying, "You will accept all my earthly possessions and allow me to do slave labor for you, developing code for the Kiwi farms or whatever, or I will kill myself, and I will make sure that everyone knows that you are the reason that I killed myself." And I was like, oh, gosh golly, gee willikers, mister. Let me think on that, because that sounds like legally dubious gray area. And before I could... I'll tell you what, I don't think I even mentioned this on stream. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I said, give me a day to think this over. I have to talk to my attorney anyways. So I did. I sent an email to my attorney. I have like 3 right now. But I sent an email to Hardin, who... I don't know if it's Hardin or Hardin. But he's the guy that's representing me against Melinda Scott in Virginia. And I like him the most out of all my attorneys. He is very thoughtful and very... what's the word? He's always like ahead of things. You know, he's never like react. He's very... it's like progressive or aggressive, but... different. He's not reactionary. He handles things like on time and without being asked and without any issues. So, Scortus. I mean, Scortus. I don't think Scortus likes me very much, but his law firm is fine. Proactive. Yes, Harding is very proactive, and he seems to actually sympathize with my plight, whereas the other attorneys are mostly like, you know, representing me as a matter of an obligation in terms of legal issues in the U.S. Anyways, my point is, I sent him a letter and I said, "What do you think about this?" And he said, you know, I don't want to paraphrase him, but he basically said I wouldn't worry about it too much because you're not really doing anything illegal by having a forum thread like this on him. As far as I can see, anyways. So I said I was going to reply the next day after thinking on it. I really thought, reading his letters, that he just was like this lonely guy who was like, oh, I'm going to troon out and go to Japan and be a weeaboo, and everyone's going to love me because I'm going to develop this awesome program, and I'll have friends because I'm developing this program, and I'll have friends because I'm in Japan living out my anime dreams, and I'm still not happy. I'm living in Japan and I made this thing and people still don't like me because I'm like a weird diaper for, you know, cub artist or whatever the fuck. Not artist, but consumer of cub type material. I'll become non-binary. I'm they them now. Am I hip and popular and trendy and cool? And that's also not working. I guess I'm going to kill myself because of a forum thread. And I was like, okay, here's what I'll do. I'll offer him. I would like his help doing things because I have many things that I would like to do. I have many things that have been on my checklist from like 2017 in terms of shit I want to add to the forum to make it a better website. I've wanted wiki style editing of original posts, the first post in the thread, for like years now. But it's such an undertaking that I would need help to really commit to that. So I was going to come back to him and said, like, look, dude, I think you just need like people to work with. And if you want to work with me on my shit, then I don't know. Maybe we can make money and sell add-ons on the Zen Foro market and stuff, and it'll pick you up. That was literally going to be a counter offer I give to him, but then I wake up in the morning and he's already said, "Oh, you're taking too long. I'm going to kill myself. Goodbye, and don't post any of our emails because if you do, it'll make you look bad. Bye-bye. I'm dead." And then that was it. That was the end of the correspondence I had with him. It's like, oh, okay, what a fucking asshole. I'm glad I don't have to work with you. So the only verification that has ever come out comes from two sources. A guy named Wayne Beckett, who is an emulator developer. He's English, but he lives in Hong Kong, and he's an emulator developer. He's been around for apparently a decade, though there's not a lot on him in public. I just know that he's English and he lives in Hong Kong, and he's apparently someone who's contracted Vue in the past. And then this guy, who is his boss, posts this picture. Oh, my fucking dead gay fucking site. I'll talk about the DDoS shit too. I'm gonna put the note for that. Okay, so he posts this urn, and ABC Today literally told me that, or USA Today literally told me that this picture was reasonable enough evidence that Vue is dead because his boss had this urn. And I want to tell you guys, I like to talk about China. I don't know if you guys know this, but I love China, right? So I'm gonna give you guys a fast and quick and hard little China tip right now in terms of Hong Kong. So you see this island? I got this pulled up already. This is Hong Kong, and it's a really big city, right? And it takes up this island that used to be part of the British Empire, right? So then we go, what's this? What's this north of Hong Kong? Well, this is, of course, China. And what's in China right here? It's a city called Shenzhen. Shenzhen is the biggest warehouse in the entire fucking world. This entire city is one gigantic Walmart that you can buy anything you want to. Like, if we look out at just the highways built around Shenzhen, it is so intricate with these massive highways connecting literally, like, I think like 100 million people live around in this province, around in Guangdong, around Shenzhen. So it's a massive area, and you can buy anything that you want there. Anything. I bet you could take $500 and not only find this exact urn in Shenzhen, you could find real human remains to put in your fucking urn in Shenzhen. I'm pretty sure and then you would still have enough money to pay the border guard to let you back into Hong Kong, right? It's a big ass fucking city, and it's one of the major exports where all made in China stuff flows through out to the world. So this guy in Hong Kong obtaining a urn with this cheap ass fucking print on the front. It looks like a crock pot, like a Betty Crocker crock pot, cooking a chicken up in there with some letters on it. And Shenzhen, it wouldn't even take you a day. You could find a ceramics place that could make this for you in like a couple hours, and then you could go find like a science depot that sells Uyghur remains for down the street, and you could put the two together, and then you would have your proof that Vue is dead for USA Today, right? So the other one is Hector Martin, who just literally put out a statement saying, "I have received an anonymous note from a credible source." So that credible source could just be Wayne Beckett again, but more likely it's Vue himself that wrote this note and say Hector Martin published this. And the entire note's just like, Kiwi Farms did it. It's so terrible and horrible. Wouldn't it be great if the fucking site was deleted from the internet forever, right? And then some Spurg realized, hey, the state, I don't know why he knows this, but the State Department puts out a list every 6 months of listing how many Americans have died overseas and when they died. And it's like, okay, well, we'll wait for this list to come out then, right? So it comes out, and not a single fucking person that is an American citizen, according to the State Department, died in the month that Vue allegedly killed himself in. Not a single fucking person died in June in the entire country of Japan that was a U.S. citizen, according to the United States State Department. And if you don't think that the Japanese Department of State is going to relay the fact that an American citizen hanged himself in Japan to the State Department of the United States, like the same fucking day, you're out of your mind, because they are like freakazoids when it comes to like paperwork. And I'll tell you a story. This is how astute the Japanese are about paperwork. When I was traveling with Frederick, who, if you don't know, is seriously disabled and needs a wheelchair, and he is so disabled he cannot push his wheelchair. Like, you think of like Joe Swanson from Family Guy pushing his wheelchair around, big strong upper body. No, Frederick can't do that. He's got 2 chicken wings that break if he hits it. Literally, if he rolls over a very steep bump in his wheelchair, he will break bones in his body. Cannot roll a wheelchair. Needs an electric wheelchair. While he's in the Philippines, he buys a electric wheelchair, but because it's made in the Philippines, it's very cheap. But he doesn't check if it's air safe, because the United Nations, the UN coordinator for aviation has very specific rules about batteries, because if they decompress in a low pressure environment, they can explode, and that causes a problem. So you don't want big batteries in the airplane. You have to have small batteries. We have flown this fucking wheelchair to like 4 different countries, and he has never had issues. He's flown it in and out of the United States, I'm pretty sure. He's flown it in and out of Singapore. He's flown it in and out of the Philippines. Never had issues. We get to Japan, and these motherfuckers, like these people just working like airport security, who have like a baseline level of education in Japan, are pulling out like the guidebook to look up the voltage and calculate watt hours to make sure that this battery is air traffic safe. And literally after an hour of being detained and arguing and flat out lying, because I calculated the watt hours and it was completely illegal to bring that fucking battery into an airplane, they let us through. They just say, fuck it, let this cripple in with his battery. Who gives a shit? To tell me that those people who will pull out the fucking guidebook to check a cripple's wheelchair battery are not going to report the death of an American citizen to the State Department in a timely manner is bullshit. But that's exactly what this guy says. He says apparently the U.S. State Department stats aren't actually complete through the end of the reporting period, and Kiwi Farms is now going to be harassing me for 6 months until that gets backfilled. I'll be signing off Twitter again. I don't have time to deal with this crap. I spoke face to face with a police detective who confirmed Near's passing and showed me their resident card. USA Today confirmed it with their boss, who again lives in Hong Kong, Southwest Shenzhen, and his only proof is that this fucking pot, the ceramic pot that you can buy, that you can make yourself for $20, is the only evidence that this man is fucking dead. He continues, I don't care whether the U.S. Department of State got their record, which was 3 days before the cutoff, or not. They're gone. I'll leave this account logged in on my streaming PC for stream notifications, blah, blah, blah. Consider it push only. So, bullshit. Like, just bullshit. Like, you don't think my fucking government can... My government does one thing right. It counts bodies. The United States government cannot be trusted to do anything else right except count those fucking bodies. They might call them, Vietnamese, Viet Cong insurgents when they're just peasant children, but they'll count those fucking bodies perfectly to the decimal, sir. I don't believe you. So fuck you and fuck this bullshit. And of course I'm not going to get an apology. DreamHost isn't going to be like, oh, sorry, we didn't know. Now, we should have erred on the side of caution. We should have let the legal system do its thing. We shouldn't have taken a side in this. Here, have your account back. And now, fuck you. None of that shit's going to happen. You think Twitter's going to apologize? No. And then, like, if I were to shut the site down, Bew would be back developing this fucking add-on under some bullshit name like Mew in like 3 months. It's such bullshit. I fucking hate these people. And like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna sue them? I guess I could. I probably have a case against him. If it's uphill. I first have to find him. I have to find a servicing agent to hunt this man down. But they all have a reason. Hector Martin, Wayne Beckett, and Bew were all emulator developers who had legal issues with Nintendo. And supposedly, copyright is like a criminal case in Japan. And if he tried to leave the country with pending copyright criminal charges, he would not be allowed to leave. So he had a reason to fake his death. He had a motive to fake his death. He had an excuse to fake his death, and he had a way to do it. He had people that would back him up, and then they can just buy a fucking pot, and because they had a viable scapegoat, USA Today would report that as evidence that he's actually dead, as opposed to literally anything else. And by the way, I've talked about this before, but I want you to think about this guy's story. He is a Baka Gaijin from America, right? He's a whitey, and he's going to call up the Tokyo Police Department and be like, Moshi Moshi, has Bew killed himself? Ooh, I need to see his ID, please. Kiwi Farm's bad, killed himself. And then the other guy would be like, oh yeah, of course, here you go, random person with no blood or marriage relationship to the deceased whatsoever. Here's his resident card. He is in fact very dead. Click, hangs up the phone. Fuck you. Bullshit. And the fact that people buy this, they don't even buy it. Nobody ever believes any of this shit. They just say, "Oh, it's the Kiwi Farms. It's so bad. Blah blah blah. I feel really terrible. He can't keep getting away with it." And then they move on to the next outrage, and it's utter fucking bullshit. And meanwhile, I really don't even know. He said it was face to face. Well, that changed, by the way. He fucking lied, because he said earlier he called and they confirmed the death, and now it's face to face. So I guess he then, flew over to Japan and then said, "Oh, hey, it's that Baka Gaijin that called you on the phone earlier. Ikedakimasu, I want to see his residency card." And then the same guy is just like, "Oh, sure, here you go." And then he can't take a picture of it. There's no certificate of death that he can take a picture of. Can't get an affidavit from the fucking guy saying, "Hello, I'm, Chief Inspector Hiroshima Nagasaki, and I testify under penalty of perjury that this nigga fucking dead." Can't get that either. That's fucking... No, that's too hard. But he definitely got that phone call, and he definitely flew over there, and he definitely met him face to face, and fuck you, Kiwi Farms. Look at the pot. Look at the pot. If the pot fits, you must acquit. That's the rule. Fuck you. Okay. Oh yeah, and then Bu in his email said, "I sent scans of my IDs to all my friends so that after I commit seppuku, they'll release it and that'll be my proof." Never fucking happened. Where's his passport scan? Are you protecting his documents? Are you afraid of getting arrested for identity fraud because of a dead man's last wish to prove that he's fucking dead? Fuck you. So frustrating. It's like such a blatant scam. I'm only happy that more shit didn't come of it. I really thought that this was going to be it for things like our DDoS protection. And granted, we lost our upstream network filtering, and I guess I'll just explain the DDoS shit happening today. Or not even today, but the last 3 months. It started with Bu. Immediately after Bu, the site went down. And then after the Janke stuff, the site got hit like twice. I could see from my diagnostics that the site was getting attacked in multiple different ways. So I don't know if it was one guy with a booter, set to multiple settings. I don't know what the fuck the situation was with that, but it got harder and harder. And basically, I'm going to have to close 1776 hosting to the public. We've had an uptime for client services of about 20% the last 3 months because I've just had to shut off our network in order to keep anything up at all. So that's a huge fucking mess. And I feel bad for people who need the hosting, but it's like, what am I supposed to do? Our upstream filtering refuses to peer with us, and this guy is just going to spend his money to attack the site. And it's not a huge amount of money. It's not prohibitively expensive. I'll put it this way. It takes less money to rent a DDoS service to bring down a network than it costs to put that network up. A 1 gigabit per second line is I want to say $250 a month. It's not cheap. But then a 10 gigabit per second DDoS attack is something like $100 to $200 a month for a really good one. and that's like 10 gigabits minimum, because booters kind of work in this weird way where they provision it in seconds. So like if you buy a cheap booter, you'll only have like an hour of DDoS, but if you buy a really expensive one, then you'll get like 12 to 24 hours at a time. So I think the guy that's doing this one has rented a booter that has about like in between, so probably about $100 a month and downtime, probably between 1 and 10 gigabits per second. And every 8 hours, he just clicks the button to restart the DDoS, and that's it. And he's just been spending his, his money every month to continue doing this, just to waste my fucking time and patience. But I've been part of the reason why I haven't prepared for the stream as much is because I got home. I gave a guy who I trust some access to the forum and the network and stuff to help mitigate the denial of service attack while I was away, and he did an okay job of that. He did the best he could, basically, and he found a way to keep the site up, albeit slow, because better fixes would require more work from me specifically. But he found a way to keep it up, and I'm very thankful for that. So I got to enjoy my vacation without worrying about it too much. But yeah, I mean, it's just fucking annoying because it's so pointless. The site stays up. It's just inconveniencing people who want to run, small offensive things, and I can't offer that because I can't find upstream filtering. And if I want to get upstream filtering on my own, I know of one upstream filter who isn't political, like services like X4B and Path and Voxility. All those drop Cloud 8chan, for instance. They charge starting. They priced me for this personally, and they said that this is the low end, keeping in mind that I don't have any budget. It is $3,000 a month, and there's no fucking way. Like I can stretch some things, I can move money, I can shill a little bit harder, do more streams. There's no fucking way I can flex my budget to afford $3,000 a month. It's just out of the question. So I have to be creative and find other ways around it. And it's just a pain in the ass, to the point where if you go to the Kiwi Farms right now, it's kind of fast actually. Depending on what refresh you get. But compare it to kiwifarms.tw, which routes through Asia, and compare it to kiwifarms.ru, which routes through Moscow. And those are alternate front ends I have set up. But then I dare you, go if you have Brave and you go to kiwifarms.net, you'll see a button on every page that says Open and Tor. Click that button. The first time you click it to the first page load, it's going to be kind of slow because the Brave browser has to establish what's called an onion circuit, and that takes a couple seconds, maybe 30 seconds. But after that, refresh the page in Tor, click around. It loads faster than it does on ClearNet. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but I'm happy. I'm happy the Tor people finally have a service that works, because I've had to shut that down because they were using Tor to DDoS the fucking forum too. Just a mess. It crashes a lot more in Tor. That should be fixed. Like I've been working on this ever since I got back, so all that shit should be fixed. The site should be pretty fast, pretty stable. You shouldn't be getting that many errors, and Tor should work just fine. Just crazy, man. And it's for what? To annoy me. I get these threatening emails from this guy who says like, "Oh, I'm not aligned with anyone. I'm just playing with you because I'm developing my own DDoS tools, man. And I'm just like fucking with you because it's like a challenge, man." And it's like, no, I don't believe that for a second. Because number one, I see the behaviors of someone who is renting a booter, specifically that 8-hour recycle. Because he has rented something. He's paying in Bitcoin, $100 a month to get access to something where he can press a button every 8 hours to start an attack. And I see it for what it is, because at night, after midnight EU time, it's off until about 10 in the morning, my time. So I know he's letting it cycle to the end of the day, and then it turns off automatically, and then he restarts it the next day. It's just so annoying. Anyways, so that's that. Let me get some water. The question is why? Because they don't like something. They don't like something on the forum. That's why. either makes fun of them or makes fun of somebody they like, or they consider it problematic for a reason, ABC 123, whatever the fuck. Everyone has a reason. It's been off and on for a while. It's just extremely irritating. Okay, Chantal. So here's the roundup with Chantal. You ready? It's gonna be kind of brief. There's a little bit of funny in it, but basically, if you don't know, Chantal, who is very fat, has been dating a Arab man for a very long time now. Like off and on. It's obviously like a toxic relationship where they have no business being together, but she doesn't want to be alone, and he wants to have sex with her. And she pays him, basically. She's been paying his rent. I'm sure she pays for his drugs. And he tolerates her because she's a source of income for him, right? And she needs the company. So they've been off and on for a very long time. A couple months now, maybe. I don't know how long it's been. It feels like it's been a year now at this point that they've been together. I think he's Egyptian, but he's like a really ugly, big-nosed, like Arab guy. And he's a cook, and he's addicted to hard drug substances. And supposedly he even has like multiple girls, and she's just okay with that because she's like so desperate for someone to like tolerate her almost. And from what her streams came out like a couple, like last night even, and she was talking about her last encounter with him, and apparently he threatened her. I believe she specified with a knife, and she left. I don't know. I think they got into a fight because one of his side hoes showed up, and she asked him to tell the side hoe to leave, and he said, "No, I'm not going to tell my side hoe to leave." And she got into a fuss with him over the side hoe being there, so he pulled a knife on her. That's what I pieced together from the fragments she let out in the live stream. So she's on live stream crying about how her relationship is over in a stream called Ugh, So Over It, which is 4.5 fucking hours long. And there's 2 timestamps that I have to play for you because I figured you guys would get a kick out of it. Let's see. Give me a sec. Uh-oh, hopefully. Oh, shit. Ha.
I know I have to be aware. Dandy, would you ever go on a date with the owner of the Kiwi Farms, Josh Moon? Also, prayers and good energy to you for the loss of your grandmother. Thank you so much, Dandy, and I don't think so.
Felt it.
Delete the stream before he. My dog is looking old. I think about it every day. Why haven't I blocked 2? Eee. I had such a bad feeling about you tonight. Thanks, SGM.
Did I already miss it? Is my timestamp wrong? I think so. I can see the super chats on the right hand side still. Where is it? I think it's
my dog is. Josh Moon? No, but he will like not stab, but I mean, what is sexy about making fun of me?
So her grievance with me is that I won't stab her, possibly, but I'm not sexy because I make fun of her, which I don't know. I guess that's a Felton thing. That's a rejection. So all you people who have been shipping us for months, it's officially dead. I've been rejected as not being sexy enough because I make fun of her. Though apparently the other way is around. If I did threaten to stab her and I didn't make fun of her while doing it, then that would be sexy. That would be okay. As long as I was Arab or something. The only other thing I can think of regarding the stream, besides what I told you, is that someone in her chat while she's complaining about Nadir, the guy who threatened to stab her. He says something like, the toll was paid. And she said, yeah, the toll was paid. And you can just tell she has no fucking idea what that what that person was saying. And it made me laugh out loud when I heard that. Keep your head up, King. I try. It gets harder every day. Okay. I guess I should talk about Ralph. I did not take adequate notes for talking about Ralph. I'm just gonna wing it. When I think about stuff, I'm gonna pull it up so I can show you what I mean. So, a couple weeks ago, Dick went on to a meetup, and it wasn't a road rage. It was planned by someone else. I don't know who the guy is that runs the show, but it's called What Are These Podcasts? And it's basically like a boomer friendly, like PG-13 from what I gather. Kind of like take on various internet podcasts. Like I think he reviewed the Zoophilia podcast, and like all these weirdos who run podcasts and shit. And he tries to make comedy out of other people running podcasts that are shit. I don't think he's ever done mine, but people are probably going to demand eventually that he do mine. And the guy did a meetup, and Dick was invited. He did, because he's a big fan of the guy, and sometimes they do collaboration episodes. And he shows up, and by all accounts that I can tell, everybody had a good time. Dick went by himself, didn't bring Riley, didn't bring Digibro, didn't bring Pantsu, didn't bring Ralph, and magically, Dick has a good time with fans of his show and fans of another show and a guy that runs that show that he also likes. Everyone has a good time. Wow. What fucking magic, huh? Go figure that that's all it took for Dick to have a good time, was just to get rid of all these fucking horrible people that he surrounded himself with. And then Ralph has a similar idea. He says, let's go to Vegas. Let's go to Vegas. And he hints, I don't think he even hints. I think they outright say that he and May are going to get married in Vegas. What a great idea. Go to Vegas, have a big party, last hurrah, right? That's the white trash pastime, the last hurrah with the strippers and stuff at the bachelor party before getting married. Let's meet up. Let's get Dick there. Let's get some other East celebs there. Let's get married. And so he takes off to Vegas and completely reneges on all of his live streaming things. Like the one thing that Ralph, to his credit, has been able to do consistently is book interesting guests and show up on time to allow them to, present what they have to say. And the person that he bounced on was Devon Stack, who goes by like Black Pill on YouTube or something. Sorry, I forget the full YouTube name. I'm pretty sure, yeah. But he's done some great videos. I've actually featured one of his videos in an article I wrote, because he highlights very well how the whatever conspiracy, whatever name you want to give a global conspiracy, he outlines very well how those people benefit from a group of people with no unified culture, with no like race history, like you don't know what country you come from, what your people are, mixed race, genetically indeterminate mutts who have no religion and who are queer. They don't make families. They don't have ties to families. They don't have history. They don't have religious history. They have nothing. All they do is vote in a broken system and buy shit. And they don't think. They don't plan. They're literally too low IQ to understand how badly they're being fucked. And then they're way too low IQ to do anything about how they're being fucked. And he did a great video on that. I'll put a link in my site description so that people can see what I'm talking about. He's a very interesting guy, and he's a bit of a downer, to be honest with you. But he's perfect for an appearance on the Kill Stream in terms of appeasing Ralph's audience. And Ralph invites this guy, And then the same day that he's to appear, they confirm that there will be a kill stream where he's invited. And then Ralph gets cold feet on his own show with a very interesting guest that I'm sure his audience would have enjoyed listening to. And he's just like, I've never seen him so like openly disrespect his own audience. And by the way, he flounced on Devon Stack to go see a fucking white rapper at some trashy little Las Vegas show because some black guy happened to have VIP at this shitty little club. So to flounce on Devon Stack for that kind of shit is just like a utter slap in the face, a spit in his eye for his work, you know, for like utter bullshit, mindless consumerism, the lowest class type of shit. But then at a free concert, but then he goes quiet, like. Dick does a stream where he's got a dashboard camera, his phone's on him, it's uplink, and he's streaming, he's looking at chat, he's talking and shit for like 6 hours, driving from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. He gets there, nothing happens. And then he drives back, quietly. No pictures, I don't think there's even a picture of them together. There might be one picture of them together, but that's it. So I don't know what the fuck happened. But they, but as far as I know, nothing happened. And then apparently Mersh, who I don't know anything about, but apparently Jim doesn't like Mersh doesn't like Jim, and for whatever reason, like literally I don't know anything about him, so I don't want to even try and say things about Mersh. I just know his name. Mersh was there. Mersh said that some disparaging things about Ralph and how he was desperate for like E-celeb attention or some shit. And I think one other guy showed up, and that's it. And I think what happened is Ralph at the last minute tried to invite all these people for this grand event where he would be surrounded, like Jesus Christ in the Last Supper, be surrounded by his friends accompanying him on his bachelor party before he is crucified to the obligations of marriage, right? And then nobody came. Nobody came, and instead of just like getting married quietly in like a Las Vegas chapel and being like, hey, we're married now, time to settle down, you know, the old Ralph Mills had his flings, you know, had his fun in the sun, but now I'm going to be like a family man and really commit to the pantsuit, and I'm going to like take care of this baby. I'm going to do it right this time. I feel it. I feel this is right. I'm going to do it right this time. He just doesn't get married. He just like, he does nothing for the entire vacation. Now he buys a fucking $1,000 Louis Vuitton man purse, and he wears it like a little backpack, like, which just looks ridiculous because he's got like this bulbous sphere shape to him, and he's got this shitty little fucking Louis Vuitton man purse on his fucking back. You know what you can take $1,000 and buy something for? You can buy like a real ring for your fiance. You can buy like a wedding dress that's like half decent. You know, for the price of your fucking Louis Vuitton man purse. I need to even find this. Well, I'll get to that. I guess now would be the appropriate time to mention perhaps one of the reasons why nothing happened on his trip is that he got served. Matthew Vickers, allegedly, not even allegedly, I think it's pretty confirmed now, went down to Las Vegas himself to slap in the hands of Ethan Ralph servicing papers, because Matthew Vickers had recently won a restraining order, an injunction against Ralph, prohibiting Ralph from harassing Vickers, basically. That protective injunction did not include Faith or the baby Xander. And so Faith also filed for a protective injunction against Ethan Ralph, and it was granted very quickly. But when someone, you know, when you have that judgment against someone, you have to serve them. And Matthew Vickers didn't know where Ralph was, so when Ralph starts tweeting his precise location in various, you know, like casinos and shit, Matthew Vickers literally goes to the casino and then hands a random fucking guy in the lobby of this casino and says, "You see that fat fuck with the Louis Vuitton man purse? Give these to him and tell him that he has been served." And so this random stranger on holiday in Las Vegas takes these papers and hands them to Ralph, with Matthew Vickers kind of like looming in the background because, you know, he doesn't want to violate the terms of his restraining order either from his side. So, and he hands them, and then Ralph is like, "I did my best Joker laugh. I knew what this was. I knew who it came from, and I just threw it in the trash." Which, by the way, is not a stellar legal concept. You don't want to do that because perhaps in the state of California, where when you service someone, it is the rules of the state issuing the judgment where the servicing rules apply. Real example, when Melinda Scott serviced me, quote unquote, serviced me to a electronic mailbox, like a virtual office where there's a physical location, but it's like an address that I don't actually live at. The sheriff's office, the officer in Florida wrote that it was serviced to that virtual office, and in Florida, that's legal servicing. In Virginia, that is not legal servicing. So her default judgment was overturned because she didn't legally service me in a way that's appropriate in Virginia, even though it was appropriate in Florida. So my point is that he has to be careful with how he serves, and there might be an argument that he wasn't served unless he tweets to everybody, the public internet, that he was served, and then takes a fucking picture of the servicing in his fucking hoof and posts it to the internet saying, "Yes, I was served. I received this paper personally. I have been served." Like the absolute thing that you don't want to do if you want to try and keep all your legal avenues open to you. I'm just fucking stupid, Jan. Exactly. So he gets served, and then for the rest of the week, he's like dead silent. He doesn't talk about anything. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't show up with anyone. He doesn't do anything interesting. However, there is one thing which I found very, very funny, and I want to show to you. I'm gonna have to use Knitter for this. I love my Knitter. I just go to knitter.net/ whatever Twitter handle I want to look up, and I can bypass all of the bullshit and just show you exactly what I wanted to see. So, oh no, where's that picture at? Where is that picture at? Okay, he like retweets so much fucking bullshit, like floods his inventory. Here, the funniest picture that Ralph has ever taken. Number one, that picture is very exploitable. You can make that steak anything you want. You can take that steak, because that plate is very easily exploited. So I want to know, and don't you fucking dare, if you know the answer, don't you fucking dare say a word in chat. Chat, I want you to tell me how much you think he paid for that steak. Put a number in chat. We're doing Price is Right rules. Then don't, if you know it from the thread, don't you fucking dare spoil it for people. Price is Right rules. How much did he pay for that steak? Go for it. Here, wait. Can I put the music up? Do I have time for this? Ooh. Oh my god, chat. Okay, I'm looking. $30. No, not $30 for that steak. $100, too high, too high. Jadalkin says 85, too high. 200, nope, too high. 85, too high. 50 is the closest. $90, too high. 62.70, that's our new closest. Jacob says 79, new closest. Joppel says 80, new closest. Is someone gonna get closer than that? 89's too high. Oh, I think Joppel's got it. I don't think we're gonna beat $79. Okay, I'm calling it for Joppel. He guessed $79, didn't go over. The real price of this hunk of beef on a platter is $84. $84 for plain beef on a plain white plate. No garnish, no sauce, no fucking sides, not a goddamn thing on it. And all you people, 85, Price is Right rules. That's too high. You're $1 off. Get fucked. $84. And he takes a picture of this like he's fucking proud. He's eating at the Frank Sinatra namesake restaurant in Las Vegas. And it looks, I mean, when I saw this picture, I legit thought he was at, if you go to Vegas, they usually, like if you go to a casino, there's usually a buffet. And the buffet usually has like a world of selection. You got Chinese food, you got Italian food, you got Greek food, you got steakhouse, you got everything that you could ever want in one place, heaped up on a buffet. And it's usually okay food. And what happens is you sit at the casino, you pluck your dollars into the slot machine, you pull the handle, and grandma does this for 6 hours when she's enjoying her vacation. And then the little lady in her bunny outfit comes over and says, "Oh, you've been playing for so long. How would you like a free meal on the casino?" And of course, grandma goes, "Oh, I would love that." And then she gets comped the buffet, and her and grandpa go to the buffet, and grandpa gets that big steak. He goes up to the man at the buffet with his plastic plate. He holds it down and says, "I want that big old steak right there." And the steak man takes a big fork and pokes it into the steak and plops it on the plate. And grandpa goes and sits by his wife, and the wife is like, "Oh, you can't eat all that red meat. You'll get colon cancer again." And he'll be like, "Shut up, woman. I hate my wife." And then they'll eat. And that's I literally thought he was sitting at a buffet table with a fucking steakhouse cut of big ass fucking plain beef on his plate. And he got comped it at like the floor of a casino. But no, he went to the fucking biggest tourist trap on the strip and paid $84 for plain beef on a plain white plate. And he had Pantsu take a picture of this to put it on Twitter because he thought people would be jealous of this. Motherfucker, I went to some, I'm not trying to one up, I'm just saying, I went to some very nice places. I had some very nice food. I never paid for my meal more than $84. And that is with meals that had wine, including very fancy wine with like region controls and shit like that. And it's like, enjoyable, high quality food that's not $84 fucking dollars, because that's a scam, basically. The idiots say, "Oh, the Frank Sinatra place, I hear that's really high, that's highly rated. I'm gonna sit down and get an $84 piece of plain beef on a plain white plate," and then they're happy with it because they don't know any better. And it's really I don't know. I found great amusement. I'm not trying to be like a food snob or anything, but it's just how happy he is to have that that plain beef. To be grazing on that plain beef, on that plain white plate, on a gaudy orange cushion, and the biggest tourist trap in the world. And he's acting like everyone should be jealous of him. Really sums up Ralph. My Josh Flex, yeah. I'm just saying, if you have the money to spend on big ass fucking $84 steaks like that aren't even like they don't have the grill lines or anything. Like, you can go to a real restaurant and eat proper food, really good food that you'll remember. You take your fiance who you bought a real ring for, you take her to a fancy place right before your wedding, right? Because you're getting married in Vegas, and you have a nice fine dining, and you invite Dick Masterson, your maybe not for like the special time alone, but you invite him out to eat, and all your friends who of course came to visit you. You invite Gator. You say, "Gator, don't you worry. We're going to a Michelin star restaurant. We're going to eat Wagyu beef, and you're going to eat for free because you are my mensch. I appreciate you. I appreciate your endless work to make my podcast possible every day, twice a day. And this one's on me, buddy." And you sit down and you all have a good time, and you don't fucking post it to Twitter because nobody gives a shit. It's just a thing for you and your friends, and nobody has to care. Can't do that. So he eats his plain cut of beef on a plain white plate all by himself, except for Pantsu, who is brain damaged. with his plain horse fiance Pantsu, who's not, I mean, really, she's not even plain. She's pretty ugly, but I don't know. Here's a picture. Here's a picture of the fiance. I like this. Someone pointed out. I guess they still have the menus out. So this was before he got his steak. She's like, I don't know. I don't know what you would call this. When I do my streams, I've always had a rule. Even way back when, even when I did like the Amber Lynn streams and stuff, I try not to go too hard on appearance because number one, those in glass houses should not throw stones. And number two, it's the easiest thing to go for. How many times can you say Pantsu is ugly and looks like a man, and is the most trans-looking natal woman I have ever seen? How many times can you possibly say that? But really, with Pantsu, it can't be overstated how much like Digibro she looks, and how like you show any person this picture and say, what gender is on the birth certificate? They're immediately going to say man. They're going to, like, you might, probably 80-20. 80% of people will say man right off the bat. Because it even has, Pantsu even has, like, the male hairline. She has, like, the like, how Dick's haircut is, hairline is, like, receding a little bit. Like, she has that kind of male hairline for someone in their 40s. And it's, I don't know. Which would you rather have, the steak or the horse? Smash it in chat. Which a lovely date with Pantsu or the $84 cut of plain beef? post it in chat right now. How do I shrink this? Oh, there we go. A horse. I see some horse emojis. Steak. Storse. I think most people want the steak. I can't blame you, but I wouldn't pay $84 for it. Okay, and that, I think that covers the whole, like, I mean, really, I was so hyped because our vacations were perfect. I was going out at the exact same time Ralph was, and I thought, man, I'm really gonna miss some quality content. I'm gonna miss some good fucking drama, but I can't wait to come back. I can't wait to come back and get my internet back on and see all the funny, weird shit that Ralph and Dick got into over the week in Las Vegas and Sin City. I can't wait to hear about the allegations of cheating, which I guess is the only thing I did miss. Ralph flew out to Vegas like a week before Pantsu and Dick did. And it is speculated that he flew out there to meet a woman named Love is a Four-Letter Word, who is the biggest simp for Ralph. Like, just a genuine, like, hardcore fan of the show. Really, really likes Ralph. Is about 50 years old, but puts the Photoshop filters into high gear. Puts the chinky filters into high gear and looks kind of passable, right? And she tells people, I cover this already. I do. I remember this. Because I remember this point that I was talking about the hack of Secure Server and how Ralph was trying to play off that the leaked information meant nothing. But then a Plate Gang called up this woman, and she confirmed that she was flying out to Vegas the same exact day that Ralph was. So I remember that. So we got off to a rocky start, right? Like immediately, because obviously, like, it's and she changed her avatar to look like his avatar, which is like a reference to something I don't fucking know. But very obvious they were meeting each other and they're probably gonna fuck because Ralph has a history of meeting fans and fucking them. Has done it like 3 fucking times at this point. Like, come on, I'm not even good. Normally, I would give people the benefit of a doubt. I'm not going to assume that kind of shit about everyone, even if it is funny. But Ralph, there's no reason to give him. Like, that's obviously what he did. He flew out there to fuck her. And then had a week alone in Vegas, one of the only places where open prostitution with brothels and everything is legal. And then Pantsu flies out for the wedding, of course. That's his last hurrah. He's going to bang the fan, bang some hoes, and then get married. Well, again, surrounded by friends who didn't come. Really. I'm wipey. I'm Amber Lynn's got like a black woman girlfriend now. She dumped Becky. I'm not even going to try. If you have no fucking idea what I'm talking about, I'm not even going to try to explain it to you. Amberlynn's like this fat, roly-poly lesbian who is dating a woman who's like psychologically stuck in the 90s forever. Everything that she does is like 90s oriented. Oh, and then Becky dumped her, not the other way around. And Amberlynn got super butthurt about this, and immediately, like within like 48 hours, hooked up with this woman that she just starts calling wifey, and who has been lovingly nicknamed Wipey by the fan zone, because it is alleged, and I mean pretty fucking obvious, because there's no way that woman can reach her own ass. It has been alleged that Amberlynn pays her girlfriends to wipe her ass when she poos because she is 600 fucking pounds and cannot reach her own asshole, and there's no way that that woman does not have people help her wipe her ass. So Wipey is black, and then Wipey comes over to their house, and she says something, like she starts talking about like having a poly relationship. So she immediately wants to cuck Amberlynn and start having like this open relationship. And open relationships, if you don't know, if for whatever reason you're like someone from Portland who has never heard this show before and is listening for the first time thinking like, wow, this guy's a dickhead. If you don't know, open relationships are just permission to cheat. So what happens is one person, in this case Wipey, says, Amberlynn, you are fat and I would not have sex with you. I want an open relationship. To which Amberlynn, afraid of being alone and unable to wipe herself, is forced to concede that Wipey is allowed to have an open relationship. So then Wipey goes out and has sex with all the guys and women or whatever the fuck that she wants. And Amberlynn is stuck home alone. And then, as always happens in open relationships, the person who did not propose the open relationship then eventually gets bored of the open relationship and being alone in it, and tries to have their cut of it by exploring other relationships themselves. And then that causes the first person who initiated the open relationship to become insanely jealous, even though it was their fucking idea, and then the relationship terminates because of whatever reason. This happens every single time. Every single fucking open relationship on Earth has gone exactly like this. Person A says, let's have an open relationship. Person A has lots and lots of sex. And then person B later tries to have an open relationship themselves. And person A gets very jealous and breaks the relationship. Every single one ends the exact same way. So I can't wait to see Amberlynn Reed get cucked by a black woman, and I really hope that happens, because Amberlynn is someone who you never want to see good things happen to. You like Chantal like shows vulnerability and is like a genuine person. She's obnoxious. She's very hard to tolerate. But I do believe that she is, for the most part, a very genuine person, as opposed to Amberlynn, who everything about her is a facade. You never see Amberlynn from angles that she does not like very carefully set up. She shows no weaknesses ever, unless they're like to score pity points, and she's just the most insufferable bitch. So I'm giving all my energy to Wipey to completely and totally humiliate Amberlynn in ways that I can't even at current imagine, because I would love to talk about that in the future. Okay. Is that it? Is that it? Oh, there's one more thing. Let me get a sip. A little sip. Oh, yeah, I'll talk about the vaccine thing. Actually, I have a article pulled up that I'll skim through just to briefly opine on it. So, oh, actually, I did not touch on the Melinda Scott stuff at all. Melinda Scott's sixth lawsuit against me has been rejected with prejudice, meaning that she can't bring it up again. And she immediately went to the Court of Appeals to say that it shouldn't have been thrown out. And that leaves me in a awkward position. I have three options, basically. Option A, I can ignore it. Tactic wait and see. Just hope that the court recognizes the obviously frivolous nature of the lawsuit and doesn't require me to respond. Option B is to fight it, which is probably a lot of money to do. I'm going to have to pay attorney's fees for that. And it's more money because it's appellate court. Option C is to ask for fees, to say that this woman has, and that's going to cost even more money because then I'm fighting it and I'm asking for fees. And not only does that cost more money, but the issue then becomes that because she is filing as a pauper, basically saying that she doesn't even have the money to pay the court fees to file her bullshit litigation, I'm going to try and collect thousands of dollars against a pauper. Well, that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Virginia gives me some leeway to like seize shit. I can literally I can take her car. I'm pretty sure I can't take her house, but I can take shit from her yard. I can take furniture from her house. I can take clothing from her. I can do whatever the fuck. There are avenues of me collecting this money. If she worked, which she doesn't, I can garnish her wages. I think I can garnish her Social Security income. I don't know. I'd have to ask. Really, the only way I could make any money off of this, and I'm just gonna throw this out here. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. I've said random comments on this stream before, and it has changed the course of history. So I'm just going to... You can't garnish SSI. Okay. I'm just going to throw this out here. I need aggravating white trash in the state of Virginia willing to visit this house and demand property for my debt. I need the most wiggerish man that has ever lived to wear a GoPro and record himself taking back my fucking money. Legally, of course, because he would have my authority as my debt collector to visit that house and take that money on my behalf. Take the car, take whatever kids' toys are in the yard, basically put an aggressive lien on her so that she can't file any more bullshit litigation and waste my fucking time. I need someone who is taller than 5'1" and who can really handle himself in a physical confrontation to get my motherfucking money. If I were to pursue this option, of course. I don't know who that could be. But that's the only way I could ever imagine this actually being worth it. Because as my thought is, if she's currently being harassed by white trash incarnate, she cannot sue me anymore. Because she's busy. She's too busy doing other shit. She's too busy being called at random hours of the day and being visited with a strange man with a GoPro and a Louis Vuitton purse to adequately trouble me with her bullshit. And I might, who knows, I might get a debt for $10,000, and I'll just say, look, dude, every dollar that you get from her, 50-50. You get the footage, you can stream the footage, you can do whatever you want with the footage, as long as I can also, do what I want with the footage. We'll both own the footage of you collecting this debt, and you'll get 50 cents of every dollar that I get in terms of collected income. I think that's fair. That could be fun. Who knows? I'm just throwing this idea out here to see where the winds of destiny take me, so to speak. Ice Poseidon. Fuck it. Why not? Ice Poseidon needs money, right? Frank Castle. Oh, God. I think I'd prefer Ralph over Frank Castle, to be honest with you. Okay, so that's the Mona Scott stuff. And one more little thing. We have a proud heritage on the Kiwi Farms. I do whatever the fuck I want, basically, and I call it heritage. One of the things that I've done in the past is when I get a nice letter from someone wanting their forum thread down, and I'm kind of indecisive about it. I don't do courtesy removals that very often. It's happened like a couple times in all 8 years that the site's been up. So if I get a letter about a thread that could probably be deleted because nobody gives a fuck about it, and it's like 3 pages long, and it's just like, who gives a shit? I put it up to a vote. and I call it Rules of Nature, and it is based off of this song. Wait. Oh God, how long is the wind up? Here, this is it. Wait, no, this isn't it. Where is it? Say the thing, goddammit. So, I put it up to a vote, and I say, you guys, I'm absolving myself of any moral obligations here. I'm putting it to democracy so that I can't personally be faulted if something goes wrong. And that has been the way that we've handled that. And usually what happens is I delete the thread, I soft delete it so it can still be uncovered later in the future, and I move it to a board, and that's on like a subforum of the Take That Down board, and that's where it stays, usually forever. I don't think I've ever undeleted a thread because of a request like this. So I get an email, of course over my vacation, but it gets sent to me a second time after I come home. And it reads like this. Courtesy request. To whom it may concern, we have been retained by Isabella Janke in connection with the article published on your website at the following URL. It says following URL, and then it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It links like 20 pages of a over 1,000 page thread on an entire board that's now like hundreds of thousands of posts long at this point already. And it continues. While we support free speech rights, our client does have some concerns about the content contained at this URL. Our client believes, and this seems like a template now that I think about it. Our client believes that there are additional facts and or context of which you may be unaware that would change the nature of the story or result in potential inaccuracies. Furthermore, our client would like to make you aware of ongoing negative impacts on themselves as a result of the above URL and the ease with which it is discoverable via simple internet search engines. Lowercase I internet. We are happy to provide details related to the above. However, due to the sensitive nature of some information, including health issues, etc., we are only able to do so if you agree to keep any information disclosed strictly off the record. Please be advised that this letter does not constitute a notice of intent to take legal action. We have advised our client of the difficult nature of bringing such actions and that it is not in their best interest to attempt to do so. Furthermore, though the undersigned is an attorney, we have been engaged as negotiators and facilitators. Our client simply wishes to put this incident behind them and move on with their lives. While it is important that information be archived, surely one must not be punished in perpetuity. It is no secret that the internet and technology have made it increasingly difficult for anyone to put even the smallest of mistakes behind them and move on. Therefore, we would like to request that the article in question be removed from your website. Alternatively, we are open to compromise arrangements such as de-indexing the article or perhaps removing our client's name from the article. Thank you for your time and consideration of this request. Please feel free to contact us at any time regarding this matter. Email is the preferred method of communication. Please respond to this email chain sent to you by blah, blah, blah. Please reference our client's name. Sincerely, John Lambert at Lambert Worldwide. So, I mean, I realize that that's just a bullshit template, right? But I love how it says, like, our client simply wishes to put this little incident behind them and move on with their lives. Must they be punished in perpetuity? Ooh. And it's like, okay, so the little itty bitty incident of them systematically boiling alive 8 hamsters them coercing a retarded man to rape his mother so that she could later extort him and blackmail him into committing suicide. The little itsy bitsy incident of killing a pupperino. Just simple mistakes that anyone could make. Surely you must be sympathetic to the plight of this person. And it's like, no. I think I even replied, like, it's nice that you have decided to take like a kind, soft approach to this email instead of just tard raging and threatening lawsuits for bullshit. But the way that the template is written indicates that this person believes that like 10 years ago, like for instance, Sammy Classic Sonic fan, right? Was a little kid, like a young teenager, just going through puberty, spurging about Sonic and shit on the fucking internet, becomes a meme, and it's like, oh, well, it sucks that he's like now a part of internet culture for the shit he did as a kid, right? Obviously, like an unmedicated, unsupervised ADHD child of a single mother, really sucks for him. You just feel bad for him. Sammy Classic Sonic fan never boiled an animal alive. Never talked about molesting a young girl. Like, I'm pretty sure that there are chat logs of her openly bragging about, because she's a lesbian, that she like sexually abused like a younger person. I'm putting words in my own mouth. That's just what I was told, right? So no, I don't feel I don't feel bad for her. Though it is amusing to me that she probably had all the time. She had weeks, right, to consult different attorneys, and they all probably said, it's probably not in our firm's best interest to represent a maniacal animal murderer and trying to censor the internet and detailing the fact that you openly brag about murdering animals. Maybe try this group. They'll take anyone. And then they get to this person who's just like, yeah, not feeling too keen about taking this website to court over detailing the facts that you openly admit to molesting children. Maybe send them a nice letter. And then after weeks and weeks of searching, that's what they came up with. I hinted that maybe her father is, because he runs a cybersecurity firm. His father might be involved in like the DDoS stuff. I don't know. That's possible. It's literally impossible to say who is or is not responsible for whatever. But that's more effective than fucking litigation at this point. Yeah, I definitely would go for costs with him. Fucking glowy. Anyways, yeah, he's like former intelligence. And then he moved to private and went into cybersecurity. Now he runs like a cyber firm or some shit. They backtraced it. 12-year Navy SEAL. Okay. Over 300 confirmed kills in Operation Iraqi Freedom. He will strike you down with precision the likes of which has never been seen before. Yeah, you're fucking dead, kiddo. Okay, I think that's it. Did I miss anything? Oh, I promised I would talk about my boy Joe. My boy Joe getting his Nobel Peace Prize. The Reddit Janny stuff kind of ties into this. I think that, what it is that the ultra consumers are like, the soy boys are like, what do you mean there's a subreddit called No New Normal? And I think if you go to No New Normal, you have to like sign in. It's like quarantines. Like this subreddit says things that we don't like, guys. We have to lock it behind a paywall. You have to sign in. You have to give us your social security number to see this content. It's really dangerous. But, we believe in freedom of speech, so you have access to it if you really want to, I guess. And then the Jannies are like, oh no, this thing is still allowed to exist in this vastly inferior, gimped way. And they doubt the validity of this random, I call it the retard juice. That's my name for that. You wanna have your life back, Goyam? You gotta fucking take a double shot of this retard juice. you motherfucker. And then you talk to people like, oh, you get your fucking retard juice, retard. You got the double dose. You got the triple dose of that retard juice, don't you? So the Jannies on Reddit are mad that this No New Normal subreddit exists. They do the thing where it's like, if you ever post in No New Normal, you get automatically banned from like half of Reddit because their auto mods immediately like detect that you've posted on this and automatically ban you as soon as you do. Really just crazy. And they're trying to force Spez to delete this board outright because retard juice good, I guess. Never question it. How do we get to this point where people are just like, never question authority? I remember like Carlin was on like Comedy Central when I was a teenager. I remember like these people, their entire shtick was to question authority. That was like the national zeitgeist. Was never like, we had conspiracy theories about UFOs and faking the moon landing and chemtrails and all this shit. People always indulge this conspiracy that the CIA was doing seedy shit, because they were. The CIA was like performing live experiments on Canadians, and they developed abstract art to combat Soviet realism by making everyone retarded and gay. Like and they tried to frame Martin Luther King Jr. as like a sex pest or some shit so that it would hurt the Black Rights Movement. Like they've been against everybody at some point in time, and we have conspiracy. Oh, and JFK being shot in the head for promoting silver-based currency. We have all these conspiracy theories, and they're all well-grounded because our government is pure fucking evil. And then we have an entire generation of people who never trust the government. And then we get to Gen Z, or whatever the fuck you want to call these people, and they're like, what do you mean that Dr. Fauci would be incorrect? That's inconceivable. I demand that you be banned from the internet post-haste. Like, fuck you. What the fuck is wrong with you people? So now, Biden, Papa Biden, Joe Biden, my man, my boy, the blue dog, Bow Wow, who deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for keeping us out of Afghanistan, says over 100 million Americans will need a vaccine passport to go to work. This is a bit of a hyperbole. This is by Reclaim the Net. I Reclaim the Net's like one of the only newsletters I'm on these days. They're a bit hyperbolic, but they have a good pulse on scary black pill shit, so I stay subscribed to him. But basically, he says here, we've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin in regards to people not being vaccinated. So he says that he's pushing through the Department of Labor, that if you are a company and you hire more than 100 people or contractors, you have to make sure that everyone gets either a COVID vaccine, a double dose of the retard juice, or they have to be tested for the virus every week. And that is crazy. This affects 100 million people, and it's one step shy of just mandatory vaccines. They go for your wallet. Every time they want to force you to do something, they go for your wallet. And I warned you guys, if you're an old listener, if you've been listening to me, I told you about China. And I said, in China, what they do when they want you to do something is they just make it really annoying not to do what they want you to do. They don't say, oh, you do not want to get your vaccine. Well, we will shoot you in the head, and your entire family, too, will go to Gulag. No, they don't do that. They say, you don't want to get vaccine? Okay, that is fine. You don't have to get vaccine, but you cannot make money until you get vaccine. It's simple. You still have a freedom to not get the vaccine, but you just can't eat, nigga. You just can't make money to eat. And that's what they're going to do. That way they can say, well, you had a choice. Did you want to eat or did you want to get the retard juice? Stupid. That's your decision. and that's America. I would still, when I went on my trip, I had to go anywhere, to sit and eat anywhere. I had to get daily fucking COVID tests. So every day, every morning, I'd wake up and I'd go to the test thing, and I would get my fucking, my nose holes jabbed by a woman in scrubs, and then she would put it in a test tube and send me an email 15 minutes later saying, yep, still negative. Yep, still negative. And I'd wear my commie muzzle everywhere. And even days that I know I don't have fucking COVID because I just got fucking tested, And I still managed to go about. It was annoying, but whatever. So I don't know if people aren't willing to like resist this shit. I mean, they're done. They're fucking done. Americans sit around for years and years, decades, saying like, the Second Amendment protects our First Amendment rights. You try and fuck with us, government, and we'll show you who's who. The South will rise again. Don't tread on me. Hoorah! Simple Fidelis to all our armed forces. Thank you for your service. And then they're like, okay, yeah, you're going to take the retard juice, right? And everyone's just like, oh, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to lose my job. I got to pay child support for all my kids. I don't want to lose my money. Oh, lordy. And they fucking do it. They just, in their fucking neck hole. Like, yep, here you go. Triple shot of the retard juice for you, motherfucker. And they just accept it. Like, oh, thank you for not putting me in the gulag, sir. I was mighty concerned there. Oh well, that's my hot take on the vaccine stuff, is that this is stupid. It also, I mean, it seems unenforceable. Because, I mean, really, just don't. What, are they going to put 100 million people in fucking jail? No. Just tell them to eat shit. Do it. I fucking dare you. Break the law. I'm advocating for civil disobedience. If you're one of those people who doesn't have the retard juice and suddenly needs to take the retard juice, tell them to go fuck themselves. Apparently, the fee is all going to be on the company, not you. They're not fining you. It's the corporate's duty to make sure that you get the retard juice or the test. Just say go fuck yourself. And then they can either eat the $14,000 fee, or they just won't report it, or who knows? Just who knows? Who knows what happens if you say no? I'm not going to get the retard juice. Go fuck yourself. What are they going to do? Fire you? They're going to fire everybody? They're going to get rid of a third of the workforce in the United States? Good luck with that. Who are you going to do? Are you going to import the entire third world to all of India to replace the workforce shortage in the United States when everybody gets fired? Are you going to prop up breadlines for all the people who can't work because they don't have the retard juice in them? I know. Try it. Try it. I fucking dare you. See what happens. Just for fun. Just for fun. We'll see what happens. That's their in-plan. They can't. They literally can't. They do not have the logistical means to take 100 million Indians and Africans and put them in the United States and train them for specialized positions in a time frame that would enable them to replace 100 million jobs fast enough to prevent a total and complete economic collapse that would put the Great Depression to shame. I fucking dare you. Just say, no, I'm not going to get the retard juice. You can fire me if you want. Suck my asshole. And guess what? I don't know how this works. I don't know if they, usually to get Social Security income, unemployment income, you have to be fired, right? Well, if they're taking the fees and they have to fire you for disobedience, then you're fired. So therefore, you get to collect unemployment as opposed to quitting. Tell them no. See what happens. Just see what happens. I dare you. You got to do something. You got to do something besides just sit there and be like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll do whatever you want. How many of these shots I need to take? 8. I'll do it. Here, have my guns. I'm sorry that I even bought the thing. I should have been buying bonds to support my government. Fuck that. Coin updates. Yes, the one thing that I did on my vacation is I filled out a customs declaration. The coins are coming to 3PL. I'm having to correspond with 3PL. If you're one of the 4 fucking people who sent in address changes yesterday, thank you for sending in your address change request yesterday. I'll try and make sure that they're updated in time for the fucking silver coins to go out, but they're coming in. And I'm going to have to make sure that everything's imported, all the orders are there and whatever, by Monday probably. And then I'm also doing the other merch run, which I'll show you now. And then that'll be it. I'm shilling, even though the fucking coins haven't gone out, I'm doing the Halloween merchandise run, which I hinted at before. Though I'm a little bit concerned about DDoS attacks, because that might bring the store down. It's these two designs, the Void and Wholesome. This was a rerun. I ran this one the first time we did merchandise, and then this one is the puppy design, which I call Wholesome. That's going to go up for sale this weekend. It's not up. It's not available right now. I have to sort out shipping costs. But check in on that. I'll make an announcement on the forum. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. I think I covered everything. Life is Strange. Yes. I think it's available for play. I already have it. I'm going to have to download it. I don't know if I can play it on Linux. And then I'll have to find time to do it. I'll stream it, and then I'll probably upload it to Gumroad. As my condolences for never updating the fucking Gumroad. Welcome back. Thank you, my friends. Good to be back on the online where I belong. Safely segregated from normal people. Disgusting normals. Hope everybody had a great pizza day. Hope everyone had a great week. And I will see you on next Friday. Bye-bye. Or when I play Life is Strange. Bye-bye.
I don't wanna eat any bugs. I don't chip. I don't wanna live in a pod. I don't wanna eat any bugs. I don't wanna drink that shit. That will never be yo. I don't wanna live in a pod. I don't wanna eat any bugs. I don't wanna drink that shit. That will never wear your chip. I don't wanna live in a pod.